All right, hello. We are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Pastrami Nation podcast. I'm Kevin. Joining me today, Elijah. What's going on?
Nothing much. Thinking I might be starting to get sick though, which
Oh, then why
sucks.
are you sitting here with me?
I'll
You're
just
like,
move away
tell
from
me this right now.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not.
Way to drop the ball. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyways, co-founder of Pastrami Nation himself, Mr. Jason Smith. What's going on?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, good. Hey, we're doing great. We're doing great. And of course, Christian, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing good. Good to be here.
Good to have you.
We're happy. We're happy to have you. We're all happy to be
Yeah.
here. Thank you all for checking out the show. Thank you all for watching. We really, really appreciate it. If you could like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff wherever you're watching this, that'd be awesome. If you're watching it on Facebook or any of the socials, please share. It really, really helps us out a lot. On today's show, we're going to be talking about 2024 and the year in film and kind of all the movies we've seen. Kind of talk about some of our favorites, least favorites, and then we're also going to talk about some TV shows and some collectibles that came out this year as well. Yeah, 2024 was a crazy year. I did realize I was making my list. I saw 30 movies this year, which is really low for me, like movies that came out this year. So I'm kind of bummed that, as a huge caveat to this list, like there's still a bunch of movies that none of us have seen. Like we were talking before the show started, we have Anora that I've been dying to see for a really, really long time. Nosferatu doesn't even come out till Christmas Day. So we haven't had a chance to see that, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be really good. Mufasa, Kraven the Hunter, Sonic 3 is coming out. Trying to think if there's any other movies that we're kind of missing on here. There's kind of a lot. There's Megaopolis.
What about the Bob
Wild
Dylan
Robot?
What's that?
Was it what's the Bob Dylan one called?
Complete Unknown. That one
Yeah.
doesn't come out. I think that one comes out next week or the week after, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that one's still coming out. We got Will and Harper, which I really wanted to see. It's that documentary with Will Ferrell and his friend. Heretic. I never saw Heretic either.
We did want to see that though. It's not like we didn't want to see it.
We did. It's just a lot of movies just kind of slipped under the radar. But this is kind of so it's not a comprehensive list by any means, but these are the movies that we've seen this year that we kind of wanted to talk about. Also, if you guys happen to be in Victorville, California or Southern California at all, stop by Apollo Burgers on December 17th. So when Pastrami Nation is doing the toy giveaway from the toy drive that they held there. So December 17th at 3 p.m. So if you're over by Apollo Burgers in Victorville, hit it up, bring your families, and they'll be giving away a bunch of good stuff, a bunch of toys and stuff. Right, Jason?
Oh, yeah. Supplies are limited, so get there early because I felt bad last year. We gave out 150 toys, and I thought, oh, yeah, cool, we're good. And we still didn't, there were still people in line, and I felt bad when that next kid came up and there was I'm sorry, kid, I don't have nothing. And the line still, I'm like, man, we got to up it next year.
Oh man, so get there early, get there so you can get toys for the family and stuff like that. It's going to be a good time. It always is a good time.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
People might not have a Christmas present for their kids, so this might be it.
Absolutely.
So it feels good that we can give that to them,
Definitely. No, that's awesome. So yeah, go check it out if you're at around Apollo Burgers in Victorville, December 17th, 3:00 p.m. Before we jump into the movies, I do want to talk about a couple pieces of casting news that came out this week. So first, we got word that Jeremy Allen White is joining the Star Wars universe.
Yes.
Jabba the Hutt's son.
Another Jabba.
Do you know anything about this character? Is this a new character? Is this a character any of you guys have ever heard of or know anything about?
No, just from what we know of the Hutts.
Could that be the Huttlet from that first Clone Wars movie with the young Ahsoka?
That young Huttlet probably became the Jabba that we know in the original trilogy.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I think that's really great news. I'm excited to see what he's going to bring to the table. Honestly, this whole project I've never really kind of been on board with, to be 100% honest. But it's piquing my interest now, so I'm a little bit more interested in watching it. We also got some MCU casting news. I know this one kind of irritated me, but also made me very angry. Just all kinds of feelings. So this year has been kind of Marvel reverting back to what kind of made them MCU that we know now. The first 10 years was
the building blocks.
It was the building blocks of the MCU. We got the I cannot believe I forgot the Russo brothers. They kind of, they helped shepherd a lot of that with their, the Winter Soldier. Then they went on to direct Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. We got news they were coming back. Then at Comic-Con, we got news Robert Downey Jr. was coming back into the MCU also, albeit not as Tony Stark, but as Doctor Doom. Yesterday, we got word that Chris Evans is signed on to star in Avengers Doomsday. Now, obviously, we don't know who he's playing exactly. Deadpool, it's very possible it could go either way, right? I doubt he's playing Human Torch again, but I feel like he's going to be portraying Steve Rogers or a variant of Steve Rogers.
I like the arrogance of Johnny, though.
Yeah, but that was fun for like one movie, right? So for spoiler alert for Deadpool and Wolverine, Chris Evans shows up in that film as Johnny Storm, which was fun, which was really cool to see, right? It was really, I enjoyed that part of it, but it was a fun little, I want to call it a little bit more than a cameo, but it felt more like a cameo type thing. This
was awesome. The whole flame on,
that was great. But also, why are we doing this? What is going on? Why? What is going on at the MCU? Obviously, we know what's going on, right? It's not very successful right now. They're trying to figure out what they can do to bring people back in. Is this going to do it? Does anyone? I personally, I'm ready for them to move on past all of these characters. I want a hard reset on the MCU. Don't forget the storylines that they're building on and that they're doing right now. But I remember a lot of people were when James Gunn took over DC, for example, right? The Snyder Bros were up in arms and stuff.
Yeah.
They weren't ready for that change. And I've always said, and I still stick to this, if the MCU was going to do the same thing, I love Kevin Feige. But if the MCU was be look, we're going in a new direction. Let's try something new. Let's try something different out. I'd be totally okay with that. I'm on board with that 100%. What do you guys think about this news? Are you guys excited about it at all? What do you guys think about it?
I think he.
Oh, go ahead, Christian. Go ahead.
He had the perfect ending. It's why bring him back? I know he's not going to be playing the same character, but still, it's a cash grab. I don't agree though about the reboot. I think I agree with
not reboot. I don't want them to reboot the MCU.
Okay,
I'm talking about taking it in a different direction.
Yeah,
right? Getting a new creative vision.
Dude, we have X-Men and Fantastic Four coming.
Exactly.
We don't need to go back to the well.
Keep everything that has existed. Keep everything that has existed and that does exist, but build off of that to create something new and different.
I already hate the fact that Downey's coming back. I'm gonna have faith. Maybe Chris Evans said he wouldn't come back unless it was a really good script. Maybe they have something amazing that's going to blow our minds, and we're just not seeing it,
Absolutely.
But I kind of doubt it. I don't know. We'll see. I'm pulling for it because I want Marvel. I love the whole MCU.
100%.
And I'm sad that it's not what it used to be. But I don't think this is the answer. It's I don't know if you guys saw that meme, but they the reboot of Lord of the Rings, and they cast Viggo Mortensen as Sauron.
I saw that.
That's so funny.
What do you think, Jason?
I think it'd be too predictable if he was Steve Rogers in any form or whatever. This only works if Chris Evans is in there as the porcupine, if you're familiar with old Captain America comics, or some off the wall shit like that,
Yeah.
Totally
why not cast someone completely different? I don't.
Well, they could have a different Captain America. He can be the porcupine, or he can be some oddball character, Crossbow, whoever that somebody doesn't care about. Do something different with them, because it's just let's put Chris Evans as Captain America, give America what they want because what they're used to. That's just blasé,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. I think it's boring. What do you think?
I think I love him as Steve Rogers. I love the ending he had. As long as they have and it has to be a great script to go along with it, otherwise it won't work.
And the other thing is, it almost if they are bringing him back as Steve Rogers, it almost negates what they're trying to do now with Falcon, becoming, the
new Cap.
The new Cap. I think if they bring Steve Rogers Captain America, it shows that they have no faith that Anthony Mackie can carry the franchise past that. So that kind of bothers me too, because we're moving on to this new thing that we should continue to move on into this new direction.
Bring him back as Colonel America, if you're familiar with Marvel Zombies.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, man? Who knows what they're going to do? Those are like the two biggest pieces of casting news this week. Let us know what you guys think. You guys excited about this? You guys looking forward to this? Let me know. Of course, we're going to watch it. Like,
oh, yeah.
I'm going to be there.
Yeah, especially for Doomsday.
Yeah, especially for Doomsday. So let's jump into 2024 movies. So basically, we're going to have 3 different tiers that we're going to be talking about. I've broken them down into a few different tiers. First, we're going to start with the movies that were good, right? Like nothing that was great, wasn't bad. It was just kind of in the middle, which we had a lot of this year. We had a lot of movies that were just kind of like, they were good, like they were fine, but like, you might watch them again later, but you're not really planning on watching them again later. And then we're going to go to the next tier, which is actually the kind of the worst movies of this year. Movies that were just okay, that were just that were just kind of blah, like, you know, they're pretty much forgettable. And then we're going to talk about the best movies of the year that we saw. So just to clarify exactly where this tier list comes from, I actually made the tier list myself. So we're going to go down it. And if any of you guys saw anything on these lists and you guys don't agree or you guys, you know, have something to say about it, please chime in. Please let me know what you guys thought. All right. So, and there's no particular order to any of these. I didn't separate them by release date or anything like that. But so this first tier are just the movies that were good, not particularly great, and this is going to be a fun way to break down the movies we saw this year. So first, my daughter drugged me to go watch basically an extended YouTube video in movie theaters, Sam and Colby, Legends of the Paranormal. And I got to tell you guys, I actually did have quite a lot of fun in this movie. Again, it's just like an hour and a half like long YouTube video. These guys go ghost hunting and it was a lot of fun. We had a blast. My daughter loved it. Like there was a bunch of, like it was me, my daughter, and a bunch of other teenage girls and their bored parents in the theater. It was only open limited, but these guys know what they're doing. We had a lot of fun watching the movie and it was fine. It was good. Like we had a good time. But obviously I wouldn't call it one of the best movies of the year. Next up, so again, some of these might be a little controversial, so let me know what you guys thought. The next up that I thought was fine, good, Beetlejuice. I didn't particularly love it. I didn't particularly hate it. Have you guys had a chance to watch it yet?
Yeah, on streaming, but it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't like, wow, oh my God, you know?
There's a whole storyline with Monica Bellucci's character that could have been torn out of the movie, edited out, and it wouldn't have made a difference in the world to the movie.
Was that his ex?
Yeah, his ex.
Okay.
Yeah, there's got to be some other way to bring him back. I felt like that was just cheap. That was boring. That story, I had absolutely no. I feel like if you took that storyline out, it would make the movie 10 times better and it would make it into my great category. It was that just drug on for me, and it didn't make it was just dumb. I hate to say that.
That flashback was funny though.
The flashback was funny, but like, do we have to know how Beetlejuice dies?
No, definitely not.
I have no like that. It just didn't work for me. Jason, would you agree? Are you?
Yeah, it was all right, you know, like it happened, whatever, like, just like, oh, it's not Beetlejuice 2.
No,
Beetlejuice,
understandable.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Next up on the list of movies that were good, Bad Boys Ride or Die.
Have not seen that.
I did like it. I liked it a lot, but I wouldn't call it great. I don't think it was fantastic. Like it was one of those movies I watched once and I'm like, yeah, that was cool. Like that was awesome. But then like, have I watched it again? No, it's been on Netflix for like how long?
I forgot it was on Netflix.
Yeah, exactly.
Not because of that, but because I've been watching so many other things.
So yeah, no. So it was okay. It was pretty good. Next up on the list is Mad Max Furiosa. It was good. It was really good. Yeah, it was good. I
didn't realize that was this year. I did see that. There's
yeah, it was.
What did you think about it?
Visually, I thought it was amazing. I really liked
amazing.
I think they do a lot of like depth. There's a lot of like scenes where like they bring elements from like the background into the foreground without it being like too like 3D. I don't know if you guys remember like 2009 when like Avatar came out and everybody was doing 3D movies. It was
Oh
wild.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
like, but I think it was just like a really good way of like creating depth, on a 2D plane. It's a beautifully shot, but
Yeah.
I didn't finish it. I got
okay,
like
yeah.
3/4 of the way. So
Did you watch it, Jason?
Ah.
I watched it. It wasn't bad, wasn't great, but it was enjoyable.
No, exactly.
I like the
exactly.
lead-in.
Yeah, like the lead in, and actually the best part about the movie, to be 100% honest, even though I did like it, were the end credits when they were doing the flashback to
When it was over.
to Fury Road. No, it was just like it brought it back to like Fury Road, and it reminded you like how much of a better movie Fury Road was, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
Which I thought was really cool, and that was
Which
fun.
is also explainable because
Yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy was great.
the
Chris
acting
Hemsworth was great.
was good.
Yeah, again, it's one of those that I was just like, oh, it's cool.
It's
So,
just it didn't have that same feel that Fury Road did, which
exactly.
because you read the book of the making of it.
That was wild. That's a wild making of right there. The next on the list is Lisa Frankenstein. I don't know if any of you guys saw
Haven't
this,
watched
but
it.
it's good. I had a good time with it. It was kind of a throwback to like 80s kind of weird. It kind of reminded me of movies like, My Boyfriend's Back and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like those kind of goofy, a little bit corny kind of monster teenage romance type movies. It was good. It was fine though. One of the Sprouse kids, Dylan Sprouse, I think. I don't know what his name is, something like that. But yeah, no, that was a fine movie. This is one of my. So I did like this movie, but I was really amped up for it at the beginning of the year. But then I saw it and I was like, it was good. Twisters was okay. It was fine. It was.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
That's the one with Glenn Powell, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad, not great, but
No, yeah, it wasn't great.
I did like the casting choices, though.
Casting was good.
Yeah.
Casting was good. A lot of stuff was great about it.
A lot of these movies, the castings were good, just the stories.
Yeah, and again, these are movies that were good, just not great, not bad either, just kind of in the middle there. The next up is Quiet Place Day One. I liked it. It was fine, but it's not anything I'm gonna watch again. Probably I'll watch.
I just remember
Quiet Place 1 and 2.
You say it.
What?
Now that you say it, I remember it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Either of you guys watch Quiet Place Day One?
No, I didn't like the first Quiet Place, so I was like, I just never saw the
second one. Good. I tell people if you did not like the first, you should watch the second because I think the second one is fantastic.
Maybe I'll give that a whirl.
Yeah, Day One didn't really do much for me.
Hey, there's Blanco. What's up, Blanco? Happy birthday!
Yeah, happy birthday, Blanco. Nice to see you. Next up is The Fall Guy. Did you guys see The Fall Guy?
Ryan Gosling, right? Yeah.
Yep.
It was good.
It was enjoyable.
It kind of drew out for too long. I felt like it was just too long and they could have used some editing there. I just kind of got bored at points. Good part about it was by the time I did get bored, it like picked up again. So it like knew you were getting bored in a weird way.
It wasn't like Rings of Power bored.
Yeah, well, yeah, I wouldn't know because I haven't watched that, but yeah, so yeah, it wasn't that bad, but it was. I had a good time with it. It was funny.
That's another thing that I did like about that movie. It's the pacing was odd, but it was able to pick up when it did start to get slow.
Yeah, exactly. Next up on the list, we have Abigail.
Mm-hmm.
Abigail was fun. We had a good time with it.
Definitely was fun.
Yeah, not one of my favorite Radio Silence movies. They also did the Scream movies. They did Ready or Not, which also announced a sequel to Ready or Not is in the
They
works,
did
really cool.
5 and 6 of the Scream movies.
Yes,
right?
they did Scream 5 and 6. You guys watch Abigail?
No, I want to see that though.
It was fun.
On my list.
The next two on this list, I gotta let Eli talk about real quick because there are movies that he had me go watch with him.
Yeah,
they're both anime movies. So we have
Haikyuu, the Dumpster Battle, which is a volleyball anime movie, which I loved. Animation was great. It didn't linger too long on the outside story. They tried to explain like what was going on if you're just coming into it really fast.
I got it. I had never seen
They explained it well,
yeah,
too. And then they got immediately into it, and the whole thing was just like the game itself.
Yeah. And what's the next one?
Blue Lock Episode Nagi, which is
that one I didn't really care for as much. It was okay.
which is a retelling of the Blue Lock story, which is a more intense soccer anime.
It's into sports animes. I didn't even know sports animes were
Sports
like a big
anime,
thing.
that's a new thing, huh?
Volleyball, soccer.
New thing, these things have been around since you were a child, Jason.
Hey,
Isn't
I'm
there
used
a
to like
basketball one?
There's
Old school
numerous
Dragon
basketball
Ball.
ones. You got to be more specific.
Yeah, no Dragon Ball. All right. So those are the movies that were just good. Now let's talk about the movies that weren't good, that weren't great, or that were meh.
They were
Not really
crap.
good. I wouldn't say they're crap. See, because there's some movies on this that have, especially on this part, that have some redeeming factors, but not enough to for me to put them anywhere else on the list because I didn't really enjoy them as much as could have been enjoyed. The first one on that list, which this one kills me to say, Moana 2.
But also makes the most sense to say.
It does. Moana 2 just felt like a bunch of episodes of a TV show put together, which is exactly what it was. It had no heart. The music wasn't there. Lin-Manuel Miranda wasn't there to write the music. No Lin-Manuel Miranda. Just no no Moana for me. It just didn't work. It was fine. Like I enjoyed it, but like I'm not gonna watch it again ever.
I enjoyed certain
I love
parts
the
of
first
it.
movie so much. And they're doing the live action movie too. So like it's just weird that they released this and I don't know. But
I thought that was a little odd that I know they're doing that, and I thought this just kind of came out of nowhere. And I'm hearing the same thing you said, like it feels like just like a 2-hour special episode.
It looks good. Like the animation looks
Came
good.
out of left field, you could say.
Yeah, the animation looks good, but otherwise it's just like kind of whatever. It's just all right. The next up I have on this list, me and my wife went to go see this. It Ends With Us with Blake Lively. I feel like this movie felt like a Lifetime movie. It felt like a Hallmark movie, and it only got released in theaters because it had Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's production company behind it. I didn't
could
feel
afford
like,
good casting.
and the thing is, the movie had a really like good message about like abusive relationships and being being stronger and being rising up to your bully essentially in the relationship. But by the end of the movie, like there's no consequences for anybody, including the guy who is the abuser. So it just really seemed like it just went off the rails and just didn't really care to give anyone any kind of consequences or anything. So in the end, I was just left with like just feeling like I just wasted 2 hours. But yeah, Trap, M. Night Shyamalan's new movie.
Oh, that one.
First half was good. Second half just complete and utter
Fell off.
garbage. Yeah, unfortunately,
I
it's par for the course with him right now, unfortunately. But this one I was hoping was going to be his big comeback thing. Josh Hartnett's great in it. Josh Hartnett and the girl who plays his daughter is fantastic. But there's bad script, bad storytelling.
I did
bad
find
editing.
it funny how many times he kept getting away from the cops.
Yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous. Like if you're gonna promise me a movie based in a concert where there's guys trying to get away from the cops, make that the whole movie, not 45 minutes of the movie, and then take it somewhere else. Don't do that. So otherwise, that was just okay. This one we recently watched on streaming, but did come out this year, and I'm talking about John Krasinski's If, starring Ryan Reynolds and a bunch of overly CGI.
That's the imaginary friends one, huh?
Yeah.
I feel like the memes and the ads in it were a lot better.
The ads were better. The memes for it were better. This movie's made for families, but there's no way a child will sit through this movie. Absolutely no way. The first hour just like drags on. Like you don't find out what's going on in the movie till like a good like maybe half an hour, 45 minutes in, and then it just kind of continues this slow drive to nowhere. And
as you put it, after we were done with the movie, he took the wrong. John Krasinski took the wrong messages from making the suspenseful horror movies.
Yeah, because John Krasinski, of course, as we know, did both the Quiet Place movies, the first two. And he kind of took a lot of those lessons and put them in a family comedy, like building suspense and building all this stuff. It's just, you don't do that with a family movie. I'm sorry, John, but I'm no director myself, but whatever. It was pretty bad. I got bored really, really fast. The Strangers Chapter 1. I was
hoping this was going to be a good movie.
I was really hoping this was going to be a good movie. I love the first, The Strangers movie, even the second one. I forgot what it's called, but that one was pretty good. This one just didn't have any redeeming factors in it. Some of the performances, again, were good.
Yeah.
Directed by Rennie Harlan. I don't know if that name rings a bell for anybody, but this guy directed Die Hard 2. He directed Cutthroat Island. He directed The Long Kiss Goodnight, which I love. He's not
Cutthroat
really known
Island,
for
wow.
horror.
Haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah, he directed, like I said, Long Kiss Goodnight, which is, I love that movie with Gina Davis, Samuel L. Jackson.
That was
It's a
Samuel
great
L.
movie.
Jackson.
It's a fun movie. But yeah, he directed this. It's just okay. There's
They
a whole
didn't
trilogy coming
Even
out.
deliver on the promise they gave us at Emerald City during the panel.
Yeah, no, they didn't. So yeah, they had a whole thing at Emerald City Comic Con, which was really cool. We got to meet the actress, like she was
Mhm.
there.
We could have gotten a picture with her,
Madeline
but things,
Peach,
but we got cut off.
Yeah, she's great. She was fantastic, but the movie itself was just kind of like blah. I didn't care about it. Next on the list.
Hey,
Um,
Arturo's
my
there. What's
word,
up, Arturo?
what's that? Oh, what's up, Arturo? Madam
Thanks for
Web.
I can agree.
Got to talk about Madam Web.
No, we
You guys-
don't.
Wait, let's let Eli talk about it because
No,
that was
I
his
was about to say
number
the
one
same thing.
most anticipated movie of the year. If
Lead
I
the way.
recall,
I
we were
regret
talking about this at the beginning of the year. You said this was your number one most anticipated.
Oh my
movie.
gosh! So listen,
I thought it was gonna be better. The only redeeming part was Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney. I think listen. This movie has a good cast. Like the cast is solid. Like even Dakota Johnson. Like I think she's good in the right roles, and I thought she would have been great in this. Her, Isabella Merced, Sydney Sweeney. Even Adam Scott's in it. Like Adam Scott's in it. Like the cast.
The
is
three girls
good.
that she protects are better than
Fantastic.
she is.
Yeah. But the movie was just a giant turd. Like I found out afterwards that they had completely re-edited the movie. Like the guy who plays the villain was actually supposed to be helping them in the original cut against like a bigger threat, but I guess they decided to cut that out. So, but they didn't refilm anything. So basically they just kind of edited it to make it seem like he was the villain instead of on their side. It's a whole thing. There's a lot of weird dubbing too.
Yeah.
A lot of weird dubbing, like of the guy of his voice. Like I don't know why he seems like I've heard him talk like he has an accent, but nothing you can't understand.
The real villain's the guy who released it, huh?
100%. Well, 100%. This is another movie we watched on streaming. Argyle, Henry Cavill, Sam Rockwell, the new one by Matthew Vaughn, who also did Kingsman and like all these movies. I
agree. The place it is on your tier list is good, but it isn't.
No, go ahead.
But it isn't a very horrible movie.
It's not a bad movie. It
worst
looks
of the
beautiful.
worst.
I thought the color when they were doing with the gun, the smoke guns and stuff, I thought that was really cool. Sam Rockwell's great. Henry Cavill is like charming as always. The whole cast is fantastic. The movie is just sloppy editing, sloppy writing, sloppy direction. Everything just doesn't. You can tell Matthew Vaughn was trying to follow his chase his Kingsman type stride with this movie. It just didn't work. I thought it fell pretty flat. I thought it was kind of
didn't
boring.
have the same feeling as Kingsman either.
No, it didn't. It was good. Well, and I'm okay with that.
Certain
I'm not
parts
looking
have
for
the
that.
same feeling, but others, it was just, why did you make this movie?
Yeah, exactly. So, also on this list, we just have two more real quick on this, the okay or just bad movies. Here, Tom Hanks, Robin Wright Penn, Robert Zemeckis. I just found it kind of boring. I thought it had a cool shtick with keeping the camera in one place throughout history. Had some moments that were redeeming, but for the most part, the more I thought about it, the more I just didn't care for it. So
is that the one where it goes through their lifespan?
Goes through, I think,
it goes through
millions of years.
History. So basically, the camera is set in one place, and you see from all the way from the prehistoric era. You see the asteroid hit. You see everything grow up around it, and then you follow Tom Hanks and his family as they get older, and as the families come in and out of the house and stuff like that. Cool concept. Just it's kind of boring.
Not well executed.
Not well executed. Well, no, I thought it was interestingly executed, but it just was kind of, it was just boring. Like not a lot happened, which you can't really expect a lot to happen, but it just didn't really do anything for me. You know what I mean? It was just one of those, and it was like everyone's supposed to go gaga over Tom Hanks and Robin Wright Penn, kindling their Forrest Gump days, with Robert Zemeckis. I thought they were great together. The movie did have some emotional moments to it, but it just didn't really Paul Bettany's great in it too. Great cast, but just in the end, just wasn't completely worth it. And then Jason, you saw this one, and you gave it a really, really low score. Venom: The Last Dance.
Oh boy.
Um,
I
Explain
gave it a big
yourself.
stamper that says ass.
so I'm somebody, as I've mentioned on this podcast, maybe I hate Venom, the whole franchise. I think it's horrible. So am I absolutely going to hate this one?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
Absolutely.
I figured.
It
That's
just
why I didn't
dropped
see
me
it.
off at the theaters.
I had no. When that movie came out, I was like 2 weeks later, we were like, oh yeah, Venom's out. I forgot.
see, I went to like probably 3 movies at the theater this year. That was one of them. My brother drugged me over there. We're both like, we shouldn't be laughing at certain parts of the movie just because of how bad some of the acting was. Like, I felt like, did you guys do a casting call at like George Air Force Base in Atalanto to get some of your military guys? Because just like the robotic reading of like the way the guy was talking, like my brother almost spit his soda out laughing, and I'm like, no.
Just real quick, since we're on the
Oh, go ahead.
subject, they announced that Craven is going to be the last Spider-Man Sony movie for a long time. Sony has
Which
officially
makes
come out.
sense.
But
We have
so,
Venom 3 to
Wait a
thank
minute.
for that.
yeah, which is fine. So it wasn't very good. Obviously.
Well, I like the first 2. I love the first 2. This
Right.
and for being a big Venom guy, this was ass.
Gotcha.
This was
They mean Spider-Man adjacent movies without Spider-Man.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so those movies are going to be gone. But yeah, so there it is on those movies. So now we have the top tier of the year. These movies were great. I absolutely loved every single one of these. And these are the movies that really made the year worth it in movies. So at the top of that, and no particular order until we get down to the top 5, even then it's not particular order. But of course, more recently we have Wicked. Wicked was really, really well done. Fantastic movie.
I don't like musicals, but I can agree it was pretty good.
The leads are fantastic. The music's great. It's an earworm. It gets in your head and doesn't leave. Ariana Grande is great. Cynthia Erivo's fantastic. Jeff Goldblum's great. Jeff Goldblum's just being Jeff Goldblum. So, but either of you guys haven't seen it, right?
Mm-mm.
No. Very good. It's long. It's about 2 hours and 40 minutes. It is a part 1 as well, but it does feel like a complete movie. Like it doesn't feel like it's half of something. It feels like it's complete. They're going to be finishing off in part 2 next year. Can't wait for it. It got nominated for a bunch of Golden Globes, probably be nominated for Oscars. Absolutely deserving. It's a fantastic movie. Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, just one of the most emotional, inspiring documentaries I've seen in a long time. Specifically, we went to theaters to see it. It's now streaming on Max.
On Max, that's where I'll check it
out. Yeah, amazing movie. It's not very long. I think it's not even an hour and a half. Just the heartbreak, and you learn about his relationship with Robin Williams and like how they help pull each other. They helped
keep each other out of the darkness.
Yeah. And there was one quote in that movie that just tugs at my heartstrings every time. Glenn Close was talking about how she basically said that if Robin Williams was still alive, that Christopher Reeves would still be alive with us today. Because Robin always... What's that?
Wasn't it the other way around?
Oh, yeah. No, sorry. It was the other way around. If Christopher Reeves was still alive, Robin Williams would be here with us today. So it really, they have this relationship that like they were basically living off of each other.
I miss the genie.
Yeah. But fantastic movie. Just, just bring some tissues, prepare to cry because you will cry.
Ooh, I love this.
Happy tears or sad tears, but either way. The next on the list, I know. Next on the list is Late Night with the Devil.
Yes.
Absolutely love Late Night with the Devil. David Dashmalian, I believe his name is. Retro horror, like in the best way. Like it felt like a movie from the 70s. Even the special effects were crappy like they were in the 70s. I thought it was fantastic. Jason, you saw it. I know you.
Yeah. Like the people I watched it with, they didn't like it really, but I was like, "This is great," you know.
I freaking loved it. I loved every second of it. I thought the format was great. The talk show format, having the commercials and everything was fantastic.
I like how they cut to the black and white for the commercials.
Yeah, to show kind of what's going on behind the scenes. Yeah, that was good. Next on the list was Monkey Man.
Second
I
favorite
haven't
movie,
seen that.
third
I need
favorite
to see
movie
that.
of the year.
Yeah, Monkey Man was fantastic. Monkey Man for Dev Patel's like directorial debut. Like, my God, this guy like picked one. Like you'll watch it, and I've never seen a director come out the gate with so much confidence in what he can do. It blows my mind that he chose this as his first movie to direct. I mean, he's worked with some of the greatest directors, so he's learned a lot from them. This movie was originally supposed to go to Netflix. Jordan Peele saw it and was like, no, no, no. This needs to come to theaters. I'm glad they put it in theaters because it's an amazing movie. It's it's not derivative of John Wick, but it's very John Wick-esque. So if you like John Wick, Dev Patel is an action hero. I never would have thought I said that before this movie, but he's fantastic. He's amazing. So go check out Monkey Man. I believe it's on Peacock right now.
Yeah, I think so.
Alien Romulus. I absolutely loved Alien Romulus. I thought it was great entry into the Alien franchise. Did either of you guys see it?
I have not.
No, it's good.
It's been
I love
an
how
odd
you're
year
making
for
a
me.
sequel.
What's that?
It's been an odd year for me.
No,
Different stuff.
I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, they're making a direct sequel to Romulus, so they're gonna have a lot of same actors and stuff. Yeah,
I
fantastic.
hope that thing
loved
doesn't
it.
show back up again.
No, yeah. The next one on the list, we watched this on streaming. Aubrey Plaza. It's a movie called My Old Ass.
I love
My
it.
old ass. Yeah,
Yes.
I heard about that. No, I need to see that.
It's good. It's really good. It's trippy. It's weird.
funny.
It's about this 17-year-old girl who goes out with her friends and she does mushrooms and she meets her older self in Audrey Plaza. And the cool thing is they don't really explain it. Like it just happens and you're just along with the ride and you're like, where's this going? I don't know. It's like, I know I tend to drill down on how long movies are, but this one is like a swift, hour and 20 minutes, super funny. It's more of a dramedy. It's a coming of age story. It's on Amazon Prime. Go watch it if you haven't yet.
I definitely feel like it could have been a little bit longer, and it
I do,
wouldn't
yeah,
have
same.
felt dragged out or anything.
Not at
it
all.
Still would have been funny,
Not at all. So if you're just down for a good summer vibe, kind of
especially
coming
in
of
the
age
winter.
story, yeah, it's a good movie. Next one, I saw the TV Glow. We watched this on HBO Max. My God, this movie is absolutely phenomenal. It looks great. The soundtrack's amazing. It's a really weird. It's horror adjacent, but it's more horror, drama, comedy, weird. I honestly, if I cannot do it justice by giving a description of it, it's got.
I came in at the latter half, and I was even like, "This is both intriguing and wondering what is happening."
It's bizarre. If I ever had to be look, so this is going to be a heavy topic, so I'm not really going to dive into it too much. But when it comes to the trans community, right? The trans community, no one can really understand what it's like to be in that community or to be trans unless you are trans, right? This movie explained it to me in a way that made sense. And I was like, oh, not that I didn't get it before, if that makes sense, but it really opens your eyes and is oh, this is the kind of stuff that they go through, even though it's not about that, right? The director is trans openly. Fred Durst is in this movie. Blew me. He was really good. But this movie really is a trans allegory in the best way possible. I highly, highly, highly recommend this movie to anybody who really wants to understand the experience without quote unquote feeling like they're being preached to or anything, because it's not about that, but you can tell that's where it's going and that's what's happening. Amazing movie. Absolutely recommend it. Soundtrack's fantastic. Go check it out. It's weird. It's bizarre, and y'all will absolutely love it. It's good. Good times. And Jason, you saw Gladiator 2. Oh yeah. And you thought it was fantastic?
I just because of the weird turn it took at the third act, it didn't who would have saw that coming, right?
What? Oh, look,
the third part. You knew stuff was going to go down, but
I haven't seen it.
No,
you're the only one that has seen it.
Okay, yeah. I'm not going to blow it for you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I stand by Dondas. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, so it's worth checking out. I love the first Gladiator. I love the first Gladiator. I've been hearing mixed things on Gladiator 2. I know it's never going to live up to the first one, but yeah.
And the battle scenes were just wow, that scene with the rhino in the arena,
yeah. No,
wait till you get to the third act. Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out. Absolutely. All right, guys. the last 5. This is my top 5 for the year so far as well. These movies were great, fantastic. These are movies that I absolutely loved. So we're going to go down this list real quick and let me know what you guys think. Of course, this list will not be complete, and this is in no particular order. So of course, Deadpool and Wolverine. Absolutely love Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't think there's any more we can really say about it. We've talked about it ad nauseum. I think it's fantastic. You guys, we watched it a couple times since it's been on Disney Plus, and it holds up really, really well. Super funny. Do you guys have anything to add about Deadpool Wolverine? Because we've talked about it a lot, but is there anything?
I love the jokes and cameos in it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. So Deadpool and Wolverine is on my top 5. We're going to go next with Longlegs. I thought Longlegs was really, really good. It was really, really great police procedural thriller with supernatural elements. Nicolas Cage, serial killer. Follows...
Never would have envisioned him as the type to. No, not like that.
He's like the person to play a serial killer.
Nicolas Cage?
Yes. Have you ever seen Nicolas Cage?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, Longlegs is great. Oz Perkins directs this one. Of course, he's the son of Anthony Perkins of Psycho fame. He directed a movie. He's directed a few movies. One of his other movies that I really, really love was Gretel and Hansel. He brought a really cool revisionist take to that fairy tale. This movie, it reminded me a lot of like Seven and Silence of the Lambs, but with a more paranormal aspect to it. It was really good, really atmospheric. Mika Kelly, I believe her name is. Plays the lead detective going after Longlegs, and it just takes all these weird turns you don't expect. Truly, truly kept me up the edge of my seat the whole time because I had no idea what was going on.
Kept Ellie hiding in her blanket, I heard.
I took Ellie to see it, and she was watching it behind it. She wanted to go see it. Like that was one that me and her specifically wanted to go see because she wanted to see it. Very good, fantastic. Inside Out 2 is next on my list. I adore Inside Out 2, especially as someone who suffers from anxiety. This movie just really, it made me anxious watching it because like I was like it felt like I was having an anxiety attack while watching it because it made so much sense. Inside Out is one of those franchises where I'm an adult, right? I'm 44. But you can show both of them, I believe, to anybody, and it'll explain so much about how your emotions work and how you work as a human being, how your brain functions and stuff like that. Inside Out 2 just really took it to the next level. I love the cast. Maya Hawke as Anxiety was perfect. Ayo Idibiri joined the cast as Ennui. She's Ennui. Great movie. Have you guys see Inside Out 2?
No.
Oh my God, you guys are missing out. Inside Out 2
slipping this year.
Inside Out 2 is fantastic.
My anxiety is Pepe from the Muppets.
Next up on this top 5, number 4, again, no particular order, Civil War. I absolutely love Civil War. Alex Garland,
yes.
Kristen Dunst, fantastic.
What a movie.
Definitely interesting, and how they approached it was definitely also good, trying to while also making sure to stir up no problems for themselves.
Yeah, definitely. Christian,
what kind of American are you?
No. Yeah, right, exactly. So my number 1 pick is going to be very, very controversial for a lot of people. People are going to be like, that's your number. My wife already said it to me. She's like, that's your number 1 movie. And I'm like, yes, it is my number 1 movie because I appreciate filmmakers doing whatever the fuck they want. And I appreciate filmmaking as a whole. And I appreciate people going out there, skirting the system, the studio system, and doing their own thing and not letting them hold them down. This movie, first of all, it's the first unrated movie ever in the history of cinema to open at number 1 at the box office. It knocked out another movie that was highly anticipated by a lot of people out of the number 1 spot. Completely unrated. It's actually hitting. Well, that's part of the buildup, right? I'm trying to get everyone excited.
I know what it is, I think.
Yeah. And this movie's hitting $100 million. It's hit worldwide, right? This is a movie that was made for a couple $1 million. This is a movie that was made completely independent. Every single passion, every blood, sweat, and tears were put into this movie, literally. This movie is, you watch it and you're like, Everyone who worked on this thing put their heart and soul into it. You can completely tell. People,
The actors,
hate it.
actresses, and crew.
the actors, actresses, and crew. And of course, I would like to introduce you guys to the number one clown of the year, Art the Clown.
Yes.
Terrifier 3.
Oh my God.
Terrifier 3 absolutely knocked all expectations out of the water.
Wish I got that popcorn bucket.
This movie knocked Joker out of the number one spot. Like, no, that's not saying a lot because Joker 2 wasn't very good, but talking about a movie that was pretty highly anticipated for a while, a movie like this comes along and knocks it out of the top spot at the box office.
Easily,
that's
too.
Easily. Like, that's incredible. I love the craft. I love the art behind it. And I think Art the Clown.
Mm-hmm.
David Howard Thornton, who plays Art the Clown, is just next level. This is like Charlie Chaplin meets Joe. Like he needs to be the next Joker, like easily. Like
Yeah.
He's done like shorts and stuff as the Joker. And this whole franchise, I just fully discovered the Terrifier franchise this year. Finally watched them all. Finally, Lauren Lavera, who plays Sienna Shaw, who is easily one of my favorite final girls ever now. Like, she's amazing. I love her storyline in these movies, and there's going to be a part 4. I'm really, really excited for it. And this is one of those movies that made me laugh, made me scared, made me just like in complete disbelief that they actually did that and they got away with it and they showed it in theaters. And
It's not for the squeamish, that's for sure.
Not for the squeamish. It's not for anybody. But I love this franchise because of the swings it takes and because it takes no prisoners and just the craft that's shown on screen. It's just it's oddly inspiring. Like, it makes you want to go out and do something like this. It shows that you could. Damien Leone is going to he's inspiring a bunch of young filmmakers right now to go do their thing, much like Kevin Smith did. Kevin Smith, Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez did in the 90s. Like, this is kind of a new kind of rebirth of that. I feel like a lot of people are responding to it in a positive way, and people are going to learn. And I think it's going to bring Hollywood in a different direction. I think you're going to get new types of movies, new things. A lot of these actors and a lot of these directors are going to learn how to skirt the studio system because of this movie. This movie is showing people that they can release whatever the heck they want, make all the money. Damien Leone's like the Taylor Swift of movies right now. Okay. Like, she just said, screw the label. I'm just going to go do my own thing and I'll make all this money. It's exactly what he did. So,
which is respectable.
Yeah. Terrifier 3. That's for me, my favorite movie of the year. And again, this is no way kind of, Pastrami Nation as a whole. That's just my thing. And I think Terrifier 3 is an amazing movie. Like, it's a lot of fun. Some people see it as schlock. Some people see it as just gratuitous, but it's art. It's art. Like, it's someone put their heart and soul into it. And if you watch it, if you watch it as art, then you're going to absolutely love it. So, yeah,
I do love it. It is a good movie. It's a good movie for this time of year too, surprisingly.
Yeah. It's a Christmas movie.
I'd say watch Nightmare Before Christmas and then watch this.
We made a new tradition. All right. So let's move on to some TV stuff. Jason, what have you guys watched this year?
Let's see. I watched just this week. I watched that Creature Commandos. There's like 2 episodes out.
Watch that
animated DC. It's like a Suicide Squad kind of story.
Yeah.
Don't know how I feel about it yet. Like the actions there, the violence is. I think it's because the score, the musical score, was kind of annoying. Like, it's like I didn't like the background music in it. I don't know. I'm sure I could grow into it, but it's only 2 episodes deep, so I got to give it a chance.
Yeah.
And what else did I watch TV wise? Cobra Kai season, was it 6 or the newest chapter, whatever?
We fell off of Cobra Kai. I don't remember where we left off.
Dude,
I want to get back into it, but at the same time, I need to watch it with the rest of you.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of inconsistencies that I'm like, how does that happen? And how does John Kreese get here? And blah, 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 blah. It's enjoyable. Love Johnny, love Daniel, love those parts. It's just, I don't know. I feel like Kreese just needs to hang it up or just kill him off already. Mm-hmm. He's too damn old just to be having him be this.
I had no idea he was still in it. So that's.
Unfortunately, yes. Terry Silvers does a better job than him. But Yeah, he's in it too.
Yeah. One I do want to bring up, we talked about before we came on, the Bears season 3, highly disappointing. I did not have a good time watching that at all. I love the Bears season 1 and 2, but
Yeah.
just 3 was just awful.
You want disappointing? Watch Rings of Power.
I haven't
God,
watched it yet. Yeah.
nobody should deserve. God, it's like
Did you watch season 2?
I watched like 4 episodes and I threw in the towel. It's just there was this like 20-minute scene between the human version of Sauron and like that big guy that like remember the big guy that's with the little short people.
Kind of.
They're just talking like for 20 minutes and I'm like I fell asleep during that. Like they were telling me you were snoring. Oh, was I? Like it's just
You're missing out on critical exposition.
I think because they went
I
ahead
haven't
and
even
gave
watched
them 3 seasons before seeing any content just because it's Lord of the Rings. And then now they're trying to like fill those 3 seasons by dragging out long talking.
I heard they're doubling down. They're like planning a full 5-season run on it. So it's I think it's a what's the Amazon guy? It's like a passion project for him. Like he's
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, Bezos is just throwing money at it. So
yeah, it's a no for me. Like just
I mean, hey, as
for Lord
long
of
as
the Rings, I
everybody's
love it.
getting paid still.
after season 1, there's no way you could have. I don't know what it is with the Amazon shows. It's like half and half. Like half the time I'm like I love them, half the time I absolutely hate them. Wheel of Time, same thing. Like you couldn't pay me money to watch season 2 of that. So
But then you get Invincible on Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. They can really knock it out of the park, but Vox Machina too, like I loved what they were doing with that. So I think about it, there's one series I did watch and I absolutely adored it, X-Men 97.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
We're talking about animated shows, X-Men 97. Like this is my favorite X-Men anything on screen.
My favorite
Animated, like it's the best X-Men against their live action stuff, against everything. Like this is like X-Men, like done perfectly. I can't wait for season 2. Kudos to the whole team and everybody else that was a part of that. So I'm waiting. I still need to watch season 2 of Arcane. Also, I heard good things about that, but
I loved it.
Yeah. So
I haven't watched that yet, but I do. Speaking of Marvel, we had Echo at the beginning of the year.
Mhm.
Then we had
Oh, that's
Agatha All
right.
Along. Both of them were fantastic. I thought Echo was great. Agatha All Along was fantastic too. I really loved Agatha All Along. Actually,
I think I prefer Echo.
Echo. No, I liked Echo a
I know.
lot too. Echo was fantastic. But Agatha All Along was like a perfect sequel to WandaVision. Like
It was.
it's completely different show, but it also very much similar in the same time. Like it's very good. Absolutely recommend that. Any other things you guys watched? I can't think of anything else that we watched.
I've been watching some like there's been different like sport documentaries. Like there was one called The Four Falls of Buffalo, and it was about the Buffalo Bills and like going to 4 Super Bowls in a row and not winning any of them. The Boston Red Sox one was pretty good too. Like it was a little 3-parter. The 2004 Boston Red Sox. I like those kind of like sport dramas where it shows you the behind the scenes of it and everything.
Those
and
like 30 for 30 documentaries are so good.
That and like I don't know if you guys have watched Dark Side of the Ring for wrestling.
Is that the McMahon one?
No, the McMahon one was good too. That was its own special.
Yeah.
And I was thinking if they ever did because the Dark Side of the Ring, each episode will talk about like a different wrestler. Like they talk about the Owen Hart or like the Chris Benoit, and they're sad. Like a lot of them.
Man.
I was thinking if they make a Vince McMahon one, it's going to have to be like a 3-parter. But they went and did that series, the Vincent McMahon.
That Owen Hart story is like heartbreaking, man. I can't believe
that one was super sad. Like if you watch that episode, but I still think the Chris Benoit one was sadder. It's a 2-parter because it dips into that and the Eddie Guerrero thing. And like
I was about to say, because weren't they like best friends? Like
so it talks about the Eddie stuff first, and then it goes into the Benoit, and I'm like, dude. But they're like, I just watched the Earthquake one because season 5 just got released on Hulu. Wow, and he was a good guy too. Earthquake, like they would talk about like he hated being a heel on TV because he loved people and loved kids, and like kids would run away from him at the airport because he was the guy that crushed Hulkamania and crushed Jake the Snake, like that whole gimmick. But you see the other side of it. You see what they did, and like a lot of them, like the Ultimate Warrior one was pretty dark.
Yeah, I've
I think
watched
I
a few
binged-
documentaries on him.
Oh, you got to watch those. Like I binge watched them in like a weekend.
They're on
'Cause
Hulu, you said?
Hulu, yeah.
Okay,
I pick and choose because like I don't know shit about like classy Freddie Blassie and that shit that happened in like the 70s and the 50s. Like, so I pick and choose, and like a lot of like the Attitude Era stuff and like the 80s, the steroid thing. Those, it's like, wow, you see how dark this shit really is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's rough, man.
Cool.
That would be we did see that movie last year. The one with the guy from The Bear and
Iron Claw.
Iron Claw. God dang, dude, I was crying like a baby watching that movie.
Dude, yeah. That one was like, that was a tear, like that scene when he's already dead, because you see him walking and he has both legs again. So you know he's dead. And then you see his brothers waiting for him. I wanted to bust out in tears.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that was a rough one. I was in the theater by myself, just bawling my eyes out.
Oh man, that's a tearjerker. Watch Dark Side of the Ring. I guarantee you'll jerk some tears.
Yeah, I'll watch that.
Cool. Well, let's talk about collectibles. Christian, you said you had a few you wanted to bring up.
I mean, okay, now I can get to my list. I didn't watch any movies. I watched like 2 movies all year. I barely watched any TV. I watched a whole lot of baseball. I'm not watching as much basketball. I know.
Hey, congrats.
Yeah. Goddamn right. Hell yeah.
Hey, hopefully you guys go to the White House before the circus gets there.
I know. We'll see about that. But yeah, I've a lot of collectibles. I've collected a lot of shoes lately too.
Nice.
Got kind of lucky with some shock drops. But for action figures, man, there's so many things that I want to bring up, but like I'll just list them really quick. Marvel Legends. If you're lucky, I think you can still grab that Marvel Legends Ghost Rider with like the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider. Like that's like my Ghost Rider from the 90s.
That's the one that goes with the bike, right?
Yeah, beautiful, like beautifully done. He's a little undersized. It doesn't matter because when he's on the bike, it's awesome. Also, like because they're doing like the whole 80th anniversary for Marvel. Or like I don't know, it's either that or the 20th anniversary for Marvel Legends. I can't remember what they're doing. So they're coming out with a whole bunch of like box series. That Jean Grey, the like Jean Grey Phoenix. Oh my god, I posted it on my Instagram, which you guys can follow me on Zoinks with a 0. But yeah, that thing is gorgeous. But I got to give it up to Mafex. My top favorite figures of the year are Mafex figures. The T1000 or not T1000, the T800, the endoskeleton. Like just underrated. Nobody's talking about it. And I gotta say, my number one probably of the year is this guy, my Mafex Daredevil. Nice. I just adore this figure. It's just exactly what action figures need to be. I'm so glad that I snagged it. It's expensive, and I didn't get it for a horrible price, but I got it for a great price. But if we're talking about like 20 and under, bam. This guy, I think you can still get it from AliExpress.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a knockoff. So it's a CT Toys knockoff of the Mafex figure. If you want, I have the original Mafex figure though. That thing is
going to go with it.
It's going for like $400.
Those Mafex go for like crazy.
I know. I'm lucky I got it on release, but like that thing is so hard. But now you can get this. This is like, I would say just as good. You can get it for 20 something bucks from AliExpress. So if you never got it, I think you can still get the CT, like C as in cat and then T, CT Toys on AliExpress. They have like a bunch of other knockoffs too.
They use different names.
Yeah.
Names they use.
I mean, surprisingly with this, like they just call it the Wolverine. Like it has all the branding and everything. They just don't put Mafex's branding or Marvel's branding on it, but they didn't say like Wolfman or something like that. Like usually they would. Man. Yeah. There's so many other toys that I can't even think of that I bought this year. The X-Men 97 wave, like there was 2 waves of them. I have all of them too. So
did you get the Secret Wars wave, the new ones? Of course you did.
Wave? I only got the ones that matter to me. So I got Black Spider-Man, Captain, Iron Man, and then the Wolverine. I did not get the Beyonder or what's her name, Titania, because I don't care about those. I know like those are the ones that never got released, but these are the ones that I had when I was a kid. Like when I bought these, I'm like, these are so nostalgic. Like if you guys had these when you guys were younger too, like
with those
like
lenticular shields.
yes. And like I think like so many people, like I watch these collectors on YouTube talk about it, and like they're just not old enough to have the memory, you know what I mean? So they're just kind of don't care about this stuff. And I'm like I'm not even gonna open these. These are staying on card for me because it's just so nostalgic. For
I
me,
hear that cap though is better than the Mafex cap.
that Mafex cap is the one I didn't get. Like I don't care for that one because I think that one's too like I have I like this one. I honestly I do like this one better. It has a smiling face too. I just wish it came with like a normal shield. I
Yeah,
still
it
like
only has the break apart, right?
I still like this Wolverine better. But I have a like shelf of my classic Marvel, which is basically like the Secret Wars, like 80s Marvel. I also have like my 80s X-Men, which is like perfect now that I have that gene. So I'm like
Nice, I bet.
and shoes, I just scored a couple. I scored I don't know if you guys follow shoes, but there was those Kobe Air Force Ones that just dropped.
Oh, you
Like,
got those, didn't you?
I got super lucky. I also got the shock drop on the varsity or the with Columbia blue Jordan 11s.
Jeez, the ones with the shiny yes.
Yeah. So those I got them during the shock drop, but they're officially dropping this Friday or Saturday, I think. So if you can still get them this Saturday, I don't think they're going to be hard to get if you really want them. But they're
Those Kobe ones though. Oh my god,
those Kobe's. Ooh, I got lucky. I got super lucky.
jealous.
Yeah, they're already going for a pretty price on StockX. So
You just became a sneakerhead.
I've kind of always been. It's just a matter of when I can afford it. So
Yeah,
Makes sense.
gotta match the hat to the sneaker is what I say.
yeah, I do hats too, but then it's all yeah. I should be
Dude,
wearing a hat right now.
Especially since New Era got the NHL license back. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Like-
man. I don't follow NHL. I got a Ducks hat just for like nostalgic reasons because when I was a kid I had a Ducks hat and I loved like the
It's a good team.
I love the movies and but I don't know enough about NHL.
Oh, it's like the most hard hitting physical sport you'll ever see. Like
One of these days I'm going to go to a Ducks game with you. I want to for sure.
Yeah, definitely. We got to, man. You could once you hear them smacking against the glass, like I watched a guy on the Penguins jump in front to help his goalie and take the puck right to the mouth. There was like blood all over the
Oh my
ice.
god.
Then he's back in the game later on with a big old gap. Like these guys are tough.
Dude, that's gnarly.
Yeah.
And then you see those soccer guys like crying about their
Well, you seen that meme where it shows like the soccer guy get knocked down by the soccer ball, like twitching, and you see Ovechkin sitting on a bench and like puck hits him right in the jaw, just turns around, turns back around.
open gashes on their faces. They look like MMA fighters.
Oh, dude, that you don't realize how fast that puck is like because we used to cover those games as press, like Nolan and I. So we were back behind the scenes at the Duck Stadium, and like we'd see these guys like right there. We'd walk and the doors were open, and you'd see first the Ducks girls came out to go polish up the ice or whatever, and then players are out there smacking warm up pucks, and one of them hit one so hard it went sideways. It like got stuck in the ice like a tire spinning out of control because this thing is like solid rubber, and at that velocity.
I've been to I still call it the pond. I know it's the Honda Center. I've been there twice in my life. Once for a Janet Jackson concert back in like 1996. Usher opened for her. No regrets. That was awesome. And I also graduated high school there. And because I was like part of like the senior whatever, I was the only boy too, like class treasury, whatever. I was assistant treasurer. I got the whole like locker room to myself, like the Mighty Ducks locker room to myself.
Oh, sweet.
I was crazy. I was just like, they're getting ready to put my gown on. Like, I wish I had somebody to share that with, but that was pretty fun.
Cell phones weren't a thing back then, huh?
No, back in 2000. No, that's aging us.
That's awesome.
Eli, when were you born? What year were you born?
2007.
Jesus Christ. My
You're a
God.
baby.
Kids.
I had been teaching for 2 years already by the time you were born. That's crazy.
That's crazy. That is cool. Well, everyone, I think that's our show, everyone. Thank you all
One
for
more
joining
thing.
us.
Did you get this guy yet, Christian?
No, I got not all of it though.
only the best Build-A-Figure like ever.
Gorgeous. It's beautiful.
It's a freaking fully articulated saber-toothed tiger. And
Did you actually collect the set or?
I picked and choose because I only wanted I wanted Kazar and Cable and
Yeah, I got those two. Those are the only two I got.
I bought those, and then I bought Wolfsbane because she came with the big
torso
piece.
Yes, I got Wolfbane too because I had to
All
finish
the
my
rest of them, I just kind of made offers to people on Mercari, and they sold their piece for like $9 or whatever.
Oh, smart.
And I was like, woohoo!
Yeah, I did get Wolf. She finishes off my X Factor. I have like that whole X
Good
Factor
figure too.
Yeah,
but just something about Kazar. I should have posed Kazar with Zabu.
Yeah,
and there's going to be a Shauna the She Devil coming along.
Eventually, they've gotta. So they'll probably have like a Sauron with the wave.
It's their Comic-Con exclusive.
Yeah,
I picked up this guy from Decon. 4 Horsemen added again.
Oh my god!
They just showed their whole wave for the next wave. It's like Snake Men kind of.
That thing is gorgeous. That's so
he has
cool.
Like the extra head and all that gear.
Even the necklaces, that's so cool.
And just the articulation is just look, it's unreal on these guys. And one more. Oh yeah, just this guy. Got to show this off.
Yes,
I'm a fan of sports figures, and now we get some decent ones that aren't statues.
That's what. Okay, I remember like a few shows back. I wanted to talk about it and I forgot. I was like, "There's something we wanted to talk about." Sports figures. Yeah, I finally picked up that Mayfex Jordan.
Oh, dude! Yeah.
God damn, that thing is gorgeous. I love it. I have that, and I have the Enter Bay, the 6 scale Michael Jordan too.
Oh, those are beautiful.
Yeah, man. But I wish I had more, and I want like a little court so I could just have.
Well, these guys have Harbinger Studio. They just got the college license, so only with they've gotten 13 schools, but they couldn't tell us who they were because we talked to them over at in the Savage Crucible booth at LA Comic-Con, and they had to keep it under wraps. But they're like, "You'll be happy if you're a SC fan." I'm like, "Yes."
Is that your team?
Oh yeah.
I was raised on Notre Dame.
Boy,
it's God's team. My cousins went to Notre Dame. My cousin played football for Notre Dame too.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, I kind of was raised with the Fighting Irish.
Hey, I ain't mad at you as long as you didn't say you were a UCLA guy.
No. My first college game was USC, SC, and Notre Dame. I was like,
nice,
9
hell of
years
a game
old.
to go to.
Yeah, it was a good one. So awesome.
Yeah, he told me some will be available on their site. Some like specific universities only they want to buy like a certain amount, like 300 figures from them and sell them only in their team store. So, I mean, I don't know if they'll have an online part, but I'm like, I just want to collect college.
I wonder if they'll have like actual named players or they'll just be like,
well, this one is, yeah. Like this guy is Malachi Moore on the Crimson Tide.
Nice.
Because there's 3 figures up right now. It's this guy, and then there's 2 generic ones that both just have the number 18 and the back.
Can you imagine being like a college player and having an action figure of yourself? Like,
yeah,
that's somebody like in your chemistry class. Like, hey, can you sign my action figure? That's so crazy to me.
And they come with the extra hands with like the football stuck to it, and
that's great. That's cool. That's so much fun.
Yeah, it's not a bad price point. It's like I think this guy was like $40, and for all the extra shit he came with and the base and all that, I'm like.
Like Hasbro started doing like a line of NBA players. Yeah, they started to bring that back a couple of years ago, and then they stopped.
Well, they didn't have the tattoos either. Like I got the LeBron
they had
one.
Some of them. I have the LeBron one. I have the Steph Curry one. I didn't pick up, but I want them to go back. I want to see Kobe. I want to see a Larry Bird. I want a Magic. Like Shaq. Right. Like that'd be cool.
I wish.
I don't know. I wish Hasbro didn't drop that, but
I used to do custom McFarlane figures. Like I'd sell them for extra cash. It was fun. It was easy to paint because they didn't move, so there's no joints to worry about.
Yeah, I want articulated ones though.
Yeah, exactly.
If Mayfex would do more of them, but those are so damn expensive.
Do like they did LeBron, I know. Do AD or Kobe or something.
AD would be good. Kobe would be good. AD would be good to go with LeBron. I want a like Kyrie also. That'd be fun.
Yeah, Kyrie would be good.
My boy. Cool. All right,
guys. That's our show, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. Find us Pastrami Nation everywhere. PastramiNation.com, Facebook, Instagram, all that fun stuff. Yeah, find us on socials. Kevin Hoskinson, Kevin_Hoskinson on all that stuff. Jason, where can they find you?
MySpace, good old fashioned MySpace.
Cool. Christian.
Also on MySpace, Christian Nicorda, no space.
Cool. All right, you guys. All right, you guys have a good night. We
Have a
will
good
see you
night,
guys
guys.
next week. And don't forget, check out Apollo Burgers on December 17th, 3 p.m. to go grab some toys and for your families and stuff like that. It's gonna be a good
Grab
time.
some good food while you're at it.
Yeah, some good food as well.
Yes.
All right, y'all. Thank you all so much. Have a good night, and we will talk to you all later. See ya.
Thank you, guys.
Bye bye.